discuss a three-tier architecture of data warehouse. This is the most important topic in this particular presentation. So let's see what is a three-tier data warehouse architecture. This figure shows a three-tier architecture of data warehouse. We have three tiers that are bottom tier, middle tier and top tier. Bottom tier include data warehouse server and the actual data warehouse, and the middle tier contains OLAP servers, and top tier contain front-end tools that are used by end users. And we have data that are in the form of operational databases, or it may be in any other form, or we can extract it from external sources, and we have to do some pre-processing before storing into the data warehouse, including extraction, cleaning, transformation, loading and refreshing. Then we will store the data into data warehouse, and it may be used data warehouse model, or it may have data mart models. So we have data warehouses as well as data marts in this particular server, and we have to maintain the data about the data warehouse in the metadata repository, and we have to monitor and administer this data warehouse at this particular tier. Then we will have OLAP servers. This OLAP servers will help us to do the OLAP operations. We will have one or more OLAP servers in this particular layer. Then we will have the top tier. We can do data mining, or we can do analysis, or we can perform querying or reporting from this particular data warehouse. So this is the three-tier architecture of data warehouse. We will see each and every tier in detail by the next slides. The bottom tier is a warehouse database server. Almost always it will be a relational database system. I already told you that most of the organizations are utilizing the relational database system. So we have to use this particular stored database for storing the data warehouse. So we will have warehouse database servers. That is almost always a relational system. Then we will have some backend tools and utilities which will help to feed data into the bottom tier from operational databases or external sources. These tools and utilities will perform data extraction, cleaning and transformation, as well as loading and refreshing to update the data warehouse. We will see in detail about the backend tools and utilities in the next session. The data are extracted using application program interfaces, which are known as gateways. Gateway is supported by the underlying DBMS and allows client programs to generate SQL code to be executed at a server. So gateways are used to extract data from different sources. Examples of gateways include ODBC, OilyDB and JDBC. ODBC stands for Open Database Connection. OilyDB means Open Linking and Embedding for Databases. It is developed by Microsoft, and JDBC is Java Database Connectivity. This tier will also contain a metadata repository which stores information about the data warehouse and its contents. Metadata we have seen, but we will see in detail about this metadata repository in the coming slides. Okay. Second one is the middle tier, which contain different OLAP servers that is typically implemented using any of the following models. It may contain relational OLAP model, or we can have multi-dimensional OLAP model. Relational OLAP model, that is an extended relational DBMS that maps operations on multidimensional data to standard relational operations. But if we are using multi-dimensional model, a special purpose server, it is a special purpose server that directly implements multi-dimensional data and operations. We will discuss about OLAP servers in detail by the next session. So you just understand we have different OLAP models. OLAP servers can be modeled using relational OLAP model, or we can have multi-dimensional OLAP model, and we have another also. We will study all this under the topic OLAP servers, types of OLAP servers. And the third, that is the top tier. The third one is the top tier, is a front-end client layer which contains query and reporting tools, analysis tools, and we can have data mining tools. We can do trend analysis, prediction, and so on. And based on the requirement, we can go for any one of these. It will be done with the help of such tools. So these are the three tiers in a data warehouse architecture. There are three data warehouse models from the architecture point of view. That are the enterprise warehouse, which is a simply we can say it is a data warehouse. Then second one is the data mart, and we may have the virtual warehouse. The virtual warehouse, by the meaning itself, we don't have such a warehouse, but we will consider it as a warehouse in a virtual manner. So let's see what are the three different data models. You already know what is a data warehouse and data mart. You can add the points if anything comes new. So we will see what are the three different data warehouse models. First one is enterprise warehouse. It collects all of the information about subjects spanning the entire organization. So its scope is enterprise-wide. Provide corporate-wide data integration. It contains detailed data as well as summarized data, and the size can vary from gigabytes to hundreds of gigabytes, or it may go up to many terabytes. It is implemented on traditional mainframes, computer super servers, or parallel architecture platforms. It requires extensive business modeling and may take years to build and design. So this is the enterprise warehouse. A data mart contains a subset of corporate-wide or enterprise-wide data that is of value to a specific group of users. Its scope is confined to specific selected subjects. For example, a marketing data mart may confine its subjects to customer, item, and sales. The data contained in data marts are also tend to be summarized like a data warehouse. It is implemented on low-cost departmental servers that are Unix or Linux or Windows-based servers. The implementation cycle of a data mart is more likely to be measured in weeks rather than months or years that will take for a data warehouse. So this is a departmental subset of a data warehouse. And depending on the source of data, the data marts can be categorized into two, that are independent data marts or dependent data marts. Independent data marts are sourced from data captured from one or more operational systems or external information providers, or it can be generated locally within a particular department or geographic area. So these are data marts that are sourced from external sources, or we can generate locally within a particular department based on a particular subject. So these data marts are called as independent data marts. Dependent data marts are sourced directly from enterprise data warehouses. So the data warehouses can be used as the source to generate data marts. So such data marts are called dependent data marts. Next one is virtual warehouse. A virtual warehouse is a set of views over operational databases. It creates an illusion that we are using a warehouse, but it is actually from the operational data warehouses. Only some of the possible summary views may be materialized based on the frequent use. It is used for efficient query processing. A virtual warehouse is easy to build but requires excess capacity on operational database servers. So the burden is on operational database servers. So it requires excess capacity at that side. It is easy to build, but we may have more capacity on operational database servers. Next, we will see what are the advantages and disadvantages of two approaches we have seen while we discussed about the design of a data warehouse, that are top-down approach and bottom-up approach. The top-down development of an enterprise warehouse serves as a systematic solution and it will minimize integration problems. So that is the advantage of top-down approach. We can have a systematic solution and it will minimize integration problems. But it is having some problems, like it is expensive, takes long time to develop, and there is a lack of flexibility due to the difficulty in achieving consistency and consensus for a common data model for the entire organization. It is very difficult to have a common data model for the entire organization. So there will be consistency problem and there are flexibility problems, and it will be expensive as well as it will take long time to develop. The bottom-up approach to design, development and deployment of independent data marts provides flexibility, low cost and rapid return of investment. So these are the benefits of using bottom-up approach, that it will provide flexibility, it will not be too expensive, and we will get rapid return of investment. But it is also having some disadvantage. It can lead to problems when integrating various disparate data marts to a consistent enterprise data warehouse. So there will be an integration problem. So these are the advantages as well as the disadvantages of using these two approaches. So there is a recommended method for the development of data warehouse systems in order to incorporate both the advantages of top-down and bottom-up approaches. So it will be an incremental and evolutionary method for building a data warehouse that we will see by the next slide. This is a recommended approach for data warehouse development. We will have distributed data mart design as well as the enterprise warehouse design in parallel, and based on the definition of a high-level corporate data model, the developed data marts and warehouses will be refined at each and every step. Then we will develop a multi-tier data warehouse. So this is a method of incremental and evolutionary method for developing a data warehouse.